everybody. Welcome to Rock and Roll Shin-Soo, episode number 67. My name is Gabe Essel. I'm here with my co-hosts Dennis Levi Leach and Jonathan Getz. How's it going, guys?
All
right.
Yeah, right. Most bittersweet day of my life.
Well, we're gonna get into that. Want to remind everybody before we get started, check us out at rockchew.com. You can find all of our episodes as well as other fun stuff there, including links to all of our social media pages. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at rockinchew. That's rock as in no more curse. So check us out there, please, as well. And like us on Facebook, rate us on iTunes or any podcasting app where you stream or download us. We'd really appreciate it. Well, the curse was lifted on Wednesday night in Cleveland as the Cubs and Indians fought it out in a Game 7 for the ages. What a game. For long-suffering Cubs fans, waiting through the game's rain delay may have been more excruciating than waiting 108 years to reach this point. Nevertheless, the Cubbies fought back and are World Series champions. That still sounds funny, but it really happened because millions of people flocked to Millennium Park today to watch Joe Madden and company hoist baseball's grand prize. And tonight we're going to talk about Eddie and the Cubs, but not that Eddie, though. Probably the Eddie that you're thinking of. We'll remember former Black Crowes keyboardist Eddie Harsch, who passed away today at age 59. So, guys, let's get into the good stuff first, all right? Tonight is a mix of joyous and somber news. Levi, you got a fucking World Series title.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. It's like a huge, giant weight has been lifted. And I said that to my wife, and she's like, are you serious? She's like, it's like some people just don't get it. It was just so many millions of people have wanted this for over 100 years. There are generations and generations and generations of fans who never got to see this.
It's probably one of the biggest days in sports history. It really is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, some people are already like, the Cubs World Series could save baseball. Like, they're like putting that on it already. Like, if this could get young kids back into baseball, and this, it could get the sport big again. Because there was like 40 million plus people tuned in.
Yeah, it was
something
highest,
like that.
The highest rating since in like 15 years.
Yeah, the ratings were insane. It's huge. It's freaking huge. Whether you live in Chicago, whether you're a Cubs fan or not, I mean, it's a monumental occasion. So I'm surprised the city hasn't burned down. I mean,
dude, honestly, yeah. In my mind, I always thought that. I was like, dude, Chicago will burn down at the second time if the Cubs win the World Series.
So yeah, Gabe, what happened after they won?
Yeah, give us the live from Chicago. You're on the north side.
Yeah, I live on the north side. I live north of Wrigley Field. I live, I don't know, kind of halfway between Wrigley Field and Evanston, for those of you who may know Chicago's north side. So I'm certainly in Cubs territory. And, it was a lot of honking, a lot of people running around. There's a McDonald's right next to my building. And there were people like running around the drive-through. You know what I mean? Like just like like going up and like talking in the speaker and stuff. I assume things were crazier closer to Wrigley Field. Things look pretty nuts down there. But yeah, it was a lot of honking. Like I woke up then. I was that was right after the game happened. Obviously, there was the immediate reaction of everybody. And I have a 7-week-old daughter, so I'm up a lot in the middle of the night. And yeah, I got up about 3 o'clock to feed her. People were still screaming outside. So, and then I got up again about 7 to get ready for work. And people were still honking. So, it was, but like there weren't. I didn't see like any, orgies in the streets or anything like that. Maybe that might have been happening over on Clark or something.
If they had won in the 70s, it would have been.
Yeah, right. But yeah, everybody's pretty happy. I think everybody's still, either literally or figuratively drunk. So
the other time besides St. Patrick's Day, they've dyed the Chicago River. Dyed it blue today.
Yeah. So Thursday, a pretty collective hangover, I think, for a lot of the city. But yeah, they dyed the river blue today, and
there was no orange river for the Bears. There was no red river for the Hawks or Bulls.
Or a black river for the White Sox.
Right? I don't know what it does.
Yeah, this is probably I shouldn't say probably. It is. It's Chicago's biggest championship ever.
Yeah, it's surprising
really
that something could usurp the '85 Bears, but it sounds like that this might.
Yeah, I think so.
Before the episode, Jonathan said the one figure he saw was like 5 million people at the rally. Predicted.
Unconfirmed. Somebody was throwing that around. Yeah.
I mean, God, that's. I don't know. I mean, those are estimates.
What's greater Chicagoland population?
Well, there's about, if you count the suburbs, like Chicagoland area, like there's close to 10 million people
10 million,
here.
okay.
But just within the city limits themselves, it's like 3. So like you would have to have like the whole city, and then like 2 million people. That's like putting like Philadelphia in there too. You know?
I saw the Metro.
I don't believe there were 5 million. There was a shitload of people, but probably not 5 million.
The only thing I saw was a headline of one article, and it said it was the 7th largest human gathering that's ever been had on the planet.
Wow.
That was like the big bold headline.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know what
it's possible. Like, could you fit 5 million? I guess like they include everybody on the parade route, maybe as well.
I said, that's an unconfirmed number. That somebody just threw that out there. I don't know.
I know that Juliana Zobrist, Ben Zobrist's wife, the MVP of the World Series, Ben Zobrist, they were on the top of the double-decker bus, and she turned her camera on her phone, and it was just a sea of people lined on every street, and they would pass a block, and you would see down that block, and all you could see was people for forever.
Yes, some of the photos I've seen are pretty breathtaking. Yeah, I was at work. I was in my windowless office. So
did anybody call in today where you work?
Everybody in my office was there. Yeah, and I work with mainly Cubs fans. So, but I mean the crowd looked like it skewed kind of younger. Yeah. Just because those like the people like who are 21 have a lot of free time on their hands, So yeah, it looked like the crowd skewed a little bit younger, and obviously it's a big party. So yeah, I think there were a lot of people there. I don't know how many, but there were a ton. And it probably trumps the other recent celebrations of the White Sox and the Blackhawks. What's that?
Ben Zobrist is a super class act, and I don't know if you saw this or not, but yesterday they bought a house when they got to Chicago, somewhere in Wrigleyville, right out there, because he biked to the stadium that day in like full uniform. Did you see that? Yeah, one day he biked to the stadium in full Cubs uniform, like a Little League.
That's funny because in Little League, like you would be cool enough to only like wear your pants, but you would wear a T-shirt to the game, and then you'd put on your jersey top like when you got to the game. It wasn't cool to show up in full uniform in Little League. So he did this at the World Series.
No, he didn't do it at the World Series, but it was one of the games, right
like towards a playoff game.
Yeah, it might have been a playoff game or right at the end of the season.
That's cool.
They made a Topps Now card of it, one of those limited edition Topps cards.
Cool.
So yesterday, he comes out of his front porch in Wrigleyville, starts talking to his neighbors, starts signing autographs. They have a shot. People are just lined up for blocks.
Oh, really?
Like masses of people.
Nice.
And I don't know how many hours or whatever he stood there, but he like talked with all of his neighbors and all these people and signed autographs for kids for the day after he won the World Series MVP.
Wow.
I just thought that was really cool and really humble.
Yeah, Good for him.
Levi,
I wouldn't want that many people hanging around my house.
Yeah.
So good.
Too late.
Yeah.
Levi, take us back to
everybody knows where you live. I'm sorry, what was that?
Take us back to the Cubs have a 6-3 lead, and Chapman gives up the 3-run home run. What are you thinking? I'm sorry, Chapman gives up the 2-run home run with a 6-4 lead.
I screamed no. My wife thought something was wrong with me physically. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening again. I remember seeing people. I was 3 years old in 1984, and I can still remember people crying. In 89, I can remember people crying.
And that wasn't even the World Series.
No.
Yeah.
Neither.
2003, you know? And so I'm like, I can't freaking believe this is happening.
Yeah.
And complete honesty, it goes into rain delay. I turn it off. I was like, I can't take this. I can't take it. I already have a
You were ready to go to bed, or what?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I went and laid down in bed. And my wife, she's been having some chest congestion. So she went and laid in the other room because she was coughing. And I was laying there, and I don't know, like however long it was, about 20 minutes. I flipped the TV on, and they were rolling the tarp off the field. So I was like, okay. And part of me was like, you know, and people, you know, analysts and people on ESPN and everybody has mentioned this, but I thought it too as well. It seemed like it was like a reset button. You know what I mean? It seemed like a reset button.
Sure.
The game was now 0-0. There was like an inning or two, you know, whatever left to play, and you know, it was the best rain delay in Cubs history.
It was, you're right. It was a little bit of an equalizer. You know, prior to that rain delay, the Indians had the momentum on their side.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the cool behind-the-scenes stories of that rain delay is that Jason Hayward called a players-only meeting and took everybody into the weight room and basically was like, you know, we're good, we'll be fine. You guys, we can do this. We've always come back. And like gave like I guess an epic hype speech, and
from a guy who hasn't really had a great postseason.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Or and actually kind of a disappointing first season as a Cub.
Oh, it was an awful first season he had like a 600 OPS.
Yeah.
Offensively, it was awful.
Yeah.
He saved a lot of runs this year though, and he made some plays that I'm not sure anybody else in that position in the outfield could have made. There was a play during the World Series. He made an awesome, like, coming in diving catch. And, you know...
You're paying $25 million a year for defense, basically.
We are. And defense and base running, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and,
but you won the World Series, so nobody gives a shit.
But he was the guy who stepped up and lit the fire that possibly got those guys to win the World Series. You know what I mean? It's that's just another one of the beautiful stories of baseball. You know what I mean? Baseball is a game of redemption. And the Cubs definitely, they came out and Schwarber got that hit and they pulled him for Almora. And Almora is a very young player. You know what I mean? He's been in the Cubs system for a long time, but this was his first, you know, obviously postseason ever. And, a fly ball to the outfield, and he had the frame of mind to tag up, you know. And if he didn't get to second, you know, we wouldn't have got the RBI the next hit.
Right.
That's
really.
And you needed both those runs.
And so
that's base running beyond his years, right there.
Absolutely. And and then nobody. Honestly, I love Ben Zobrist. Like I said, he deserves, I think, the MVP. But Miguel Montero got the game-winning run.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And he's a guy that, you know, hadn't really contributed much.
He was the third catcher that game.
Yeah, right.
What's the stat? All three Cubs catchers played, and they all had an RBI.
Yeah.
Which is an impressive. Yeah. David Ross, his last game as a Cub, hits a home run off Andrew Miller.
Bonkers, man.
He knew how to go out.
Yeah. Honestly, you know, I'm biased because I'm a Cubs fan, but it was one of the best World Series ever.
It was. Yeah.
Oh, that game was epic.
Every game seemed like a Game 7 almost. Every game was just like so intense. And
yeah, for the Cubs fans, it was. The last three games were Game 7s.
Yeah.
So what did you think after that third out? What happens? What happens in the Leach household? What am I hearing?
I was like, woo! And then just like, kind of like a silence. Because I didn't know how to feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
part
a
of me
foreign
was
family.
like, obviously overjoyed. And then part of me was sad. Like, you know, I had some friends that I wish could have stuck around to see this. And, and you know, friends of my family that the people I saw crying in '84, you know, and so that it was a little bittersweet then for a little bit, but it's just, it's amazing. It was like a giant weight was lifted.
Here's what I think happened, right? Levi, the third out came, right? Ashley and Susanna run in. They're like, yay, you know, the window is broken, right? Levi's nowhere to be found. Ashley and Susanna peer outside, right? Colorado mountains, beautiful in the background. It's night, full moon. Levi turns into a cub. Okay, he's a physical cub, and he's like, ah,
bear claw,
bear, right? Then, okay. And like Susanna's like, Dad, and Ashley's like, let him go. You know, Levi kind of scurries off into the Colorado forest, right? They get up the next day, right? Levi wakes up. He's on a park bench in Chicago, right? And he's just wearing a Cubs thong. That's it. All right. And he's painted blue. He doesn't know how it happened, right? There's like a little bit of fur, you know, on his arm, so it's kind of like he's still a little bit half cub. He's like, That's what I think happened.
Yeah,
you made it all the way to Wrigley, but you don't remember anything.
Yeah, it was an alternate reality.
Right.
In all honesty, what actually happened was
Susanna, he's more cub than man now. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
He's no longer your father. It was me in the dark in my bedroom alone, consuming it all, trying to digest it and break it down. My wife and kid were asleep in the other room, and it was just a crazy moment. You know, I mean, it was just, I don't know. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah. I bet you don't fall asleep very quickly after something like that happens.
Well, no, and then on top of it, I've been having some knee pain, and between the knee pain and the World Series win, it was like I got 2 hours of sleep, I think, Wednesday night.
People are testing you, all right?
Oh yeah, it's like, you know, the Cubs might win the World Series, but this other bad stuff's going to happen. You're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah. You know, congrats, man. I mean this with all sincerity. You were the first person I thought of when the final out came.
Dude,
so
and yeah, when Chapman gave up the home run, I felt sick for you and for other Cubs fans, and I was like, oh no, this is what they've been talking about for the last 108 years, and I just felt so sick.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was like the curse reared its mighty head.
Yeah.
And the Cubs bats. The Cubs took wooden bats and beat it back.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
It was, and another behind the scenes report from that happening is, I guess during that meeting that Jason Hayward had, I guess Chapman was just tore.
Yeah, he was balling, they said.
Yeah, and so that shows me that he cared, obviously. Not that you wouldn't, you know. I mean,
he's only been on the team for a couple months.
Yeah, that shows how invested he was, and that made me happy.
Yeah,
and they pulled it out.
It still sounded. It sounds like a really tight knit group, even though there are a few hired hands that had to come in, but. They acclimated very quickly and became a part of the team, and that's good. And that's what you want in a World Series team.
The core is so young that those pieces they had to bring in, they're, you know what I mean? People become free agents, whatever. Those pieces are going to go, but the management is so good that they know what pieces to bring in next. It seems like. So with the young core, they, tons of people already are throwing around the big D word. And it's like, I don't know if they're a dynasty. No one knows that.
Yeah, let time decide that.
The Blackhawks, I would say they're a dynasty. The Bulls were a dynasty, obviously.
Sure.
If the Cubs win, you have to win at least 3.
I think
That's
so.
what, yeah, I was going to say.
I think
and
that's
if you
kind of the
win
unspoken
3 and
criteria.
5, then yeah, I would say you're a dynasty. 3 and 5. Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows? They have talent, obviously. And
You've got, I would say, right now, the best player in baseball on your team in Bryant.
yeah. Well, and
Like
Rizzo,
right now, I don't know. Like if he holistically is he the best?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
too soon. But like right now, if I was building the team, that's the guy I'd take if I could take anybody.
the most amazing story of the World Series 2, a guy I would probably take maybe almost first over Bryant, and that's saying a lot. Schwarber. The guy saw 3 games worth of pitches this year, and then injures his knee, and just like does everything his doctors tell him and rehabs the hell out of himself.
Yeah.
And comes back and hits over 400 something in the World Series.
Levi, you see what happened here. You absorbed Schwarber's knee pain.
I did. Dude, I never thought about that. You're totally right. Osmosis.
You're like, I'll take this for the team.
Like, lay it all on me.
I will carry this burden for you, Kyle.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
They better send you a ring, Levi. They better.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Dude, you're talking about rings. You know who was sitting at home and somehow now gets a ring? I just found out in an article. Joe Nathan.
Oh, no kidding.
Played for the Cubs for he pitched 3 or 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets a ring.
Doesn't the team vote on some of that? Like, who wasn't on the World Series roster? They vote on who gets a ring that wasn't on the roster. And he might, since he's such a vet.
I'm surprised we didn't see Manny Ramirez at the parade today. I thought he was still in the Cubs system and stuff. But maybe he was only a training coach or something. But I wondered if he would get a ring. I was like, I wonder if Manny Ramirez gets one. Because I'm pretty sure don't scouts get them and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it varies year to year who gets them. Depends on the front office who they want to give them to, I think.
Dude, I hope Ryan Sandberg somehow could get one. I mean, I don't know. He's been around the team the last few months, and so it's
special advisor ring.
Something, yeah. Dude. That dude gave his life to the Cubs, man. He gave his whole career. Pulled the Jordan and retired, and then came back. Oh.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and first the Royals take it. Now the Cubs. Gabe, you're on the clock.
Yeah,
with the White Sox.
So I was going to say, 2017. This has to spell a championship for the White Sox, right?
Complete the trifecta.
My championship is fairly recent, so I'll settle for a postseason appearance. I'll settle for the second wild card slot. Right. Right? Even losing the wild card game would be fine. Yeah.
Can you imagine a Cubs White Sox World Series? Oh, that would be insane.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I think Comiskey would probably be about 60% Cubs fans, probably. But
dude, the Cubs fans travel well, man. Some of those games at Progressive Field, it was wow, there are a lot of Cub fans.
I think there are a lot of Cleveland fans recouping some season ticket money that Game 7 night by selling their tickets.
Yeah. With all due respect, I don't know if you're going to get Devil Rays fans to travel to San Francisco or something like that. It's probably certain fan bases where that. I just said Devil Rays.
You did. You just dated yourself, Gabe.
There'll always be the Devil Rays to me.
Right, dude, me too. Their logo, they'll always
Back
picture
in 2003, they were the Devil Rays. Anyway. Well, anyway, man, congrats, Levi. I thought of you right away, and everybody else who's been important. I mean, if I had to take a poll, most of my friends are probably Cubs fans.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably the highest percent, probably the most well-represented team among my friends. So I was thinking of all of you, and I'm happy for you. So
thanks, man.
Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, this is tough.
The bittersweet part of my day.
Yeah, right. A guy who's not a household name in rock and roll. He should be, but he isn't. But he's certainly an important figure for us and a lot of other Black Crowes fans. Eddie Harsch, keyboardist for the Crowes from 1991 until 2006. Yeah, he died today. The details are still emerging, but or have yet to emerge, I should say, other than he passed away. But yeah, really, really sad. And I know it kind of, for Levi, it kind of cast a little bit of a cloud over all the joy that's happened over the last 4 years.
Yeah, I literally found out the news while I turned on ESPN to watch the Cubs parade and rally.
Yeah,
it was just like, oh my God, it was like somebody kicked me in the gut multiple times.
And I think all of us, and Jonathan had mentioned this when we were texting earlier, it sounds kind of selfish, but all of us were looking forward to these upcoming shows for the Magpie Salute project, which I'm not sure what's going to come of that now. It might go on in some other form. I don't know. So yeah, there's that. And, I got to admit, a little part of me was like, these Magpie Salute shows are happening. You know what could come next? I was thinking of that as well, and I was hoping that was kind of around the corner too, but not so at least with Eddie. Yeah, he's a guy I met him a couple times, and not that we.
I think we all met him.
That we got to know each other that well, but he was always funny.
Oh, always funny, super down to earth.
Yeah, gracious. Yeah, he was. He seemed like he was just a regular dude, and just not only was he funny and he was just such a great keyboardist. I mean, he's so good. If you listen to an album like Amorica, I mean, it's just not the same record without him. It's just really
Southern
not.
Harmony.
Yeah. I mean, Southern Harmony, and I really think Amorica especially, though. I mean, that's the
on
Eddie
Amorica. I mean, you listen back-to-back nonfiction into She Gave Good Sunflower. It's so it's so like two different approaches, so disparate, but he tackles it, back to back, and it shows his range. Yeah. Just those two tracks back to back. Obviously, even Downtown Money Waster, Descending, and everything. Yeah, but to go
I
from
never thought about it, but yeah, dude, that is like the Eddie album.
Yeah. Descending's my favorite closing song for any album ever.
Oh, it tears me up. Yeah.
It does. God.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And one of my fondest memories of him on stage is when I saw the Crowes and Page, and they do the intro to Your Time Is Gonna Come with just the spotlight on him. Yeah.
Dude, I still have my unused ticket from the show that I did not get to see because of the tour.
Oh, yeah. They canceled the Deer Creek show, among others. Yeah, but he was just one of the greats, and I was hoping he still had some shows left in him, but nonetheless, we'll miss him. So
yeah, he was. I mean, I can't remember if I've said this or not, but I'm going to say it again. He was just like the natural progression from the '70s, like Nicky Hopkins, into the Chuck Leavell.
Mm-hmm.
Just that pure rock keyboardist. You know what I mean? He could play organ. He could play a Wurlitzer, a Rhodes. He could play a grand piano. He was just, he just gave, I don't know how to say it. Like, he
completed their sound.
He colored those songs. He finished the coloring.
Oh yeah, I mean, because if you compare Shake Your Moneymaker, which doesn't have him on it, it does have some keyboards on it to
Chuck
what
Leavell.
it evolved.
Chuck Leavell.
Chuck Leavell.
Yeah.
But compare that evolution all of a sudden then to eventually to Amorica, and it's like, whoa, the difference here is Eddie Harsch.
Yeah, absolutely. The band that we fell in love with really formed when they picked him
and
up.
Mark.
Him and Mark.
Him and Mark made that band. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't want to say that because that sounds like I'm taking something away from the Robinson Brothers. The Robinson Brothers were good. Eddie Harsch and Mark Ford made that band great.
Yeah, that's not just a keyboardist and a guitarist. You know what I mean? Like that's
those are two active ingredients you're adding in that are taking it to another level.
Absolutely. So Eddie, rest in peace, man. It's sad news. Fortunately. Left us with some great tunes and some great shows, which I know I'll be, I'll probably be up when the baby starts crying here in a few hours because I'll be listening to a bunch of 1996 shows probably. So yeah, one of the greats, man. I will miss him.
Real quick, one of my favorite things about Eddie was that, like, when we were getting into really kind of follow bands in the mid '90s, he was kind of the first almost cartoon character of all of these members of these bands that we were really into. And so he was almost mythical in that sense, but mythical in like a puppet sense, like a Muppet.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He's skinny. He's got that long, kind of stringy, nasty hair. I mean, like
old Weird Ed.
Yeah, even though he was only like, I don't know, he was only like 36 or something like that when he joined the band. He looked like he was 56 already.
Yeah, he was actually 970 years old. He's a wizard from another galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, he had like about 10. He had like about 10 years on all the rest of the guys in the band. When he joined, he had already played with Muddy Waters and.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. Like that was in the 80s.
I think so. That? Yeah, I think so.
I have to find some like bootleg Muddy Waters 80s shows just to see if I can hear some Ed in them.
Yeah. So, and I'm obviously it sounds like he was going through some hard times over the last 10 years, at least, personally. And I'm saddened that there wasn't more musical output, over the last 10 years. He did play with a couple projects, a band called Bulldog, and occasionally he would play with a band called the Detroit Cobras, who are a really good band actually. But yeah, it's the Crows lost something when he was no longer with the band, certainly. So
yeah, we're gonna miss him. I want to dedicate tonight's episode to Eddie.
Absolutely, and we'll post some. Probably fill up your feeds with some Crows videos and things like that over the next couple days.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You can hear how good he was, and why he was so important.
Post your favorite Eddie songs if you have them out there.
Absolutely. So maybe we can start a hashtag or something like that. We'll figure it out. But anyway, so thanks, guys. I want to remind everybody again, rockchew.com, and then follow us on Instagram and Twitter at rockinchew. And got some other cool stuff coming up lately, or soon. Gonna have some cool off-season episodes that we'll be getting into. I know this is kind of the dormant period for baseball, but the hot stove will heat up soon, and we'll be talking about that as well. So until next time, have a good night, everybody.
Peace.